Thanks for tuning in. With teachers volunteering their time, around 160 kids attending to learn from local authors and illustrators, this year's Young Authors Conference at Stillwater Elementary was a great success. Take a look.
We are at Stillwater Elementary School conducting the Young Authors Conference for basically kindergarten to adult for generally Sussex County. Schools that were invited include Sandyston, Stillwater, Vernon, Hampton, Frieden, anybody that wanted to come. There's approximately 160 children, and again, from kindergarten up to adult. So you could be at a creative writing conference, a poetry session, you could be at an illustrating session, there's a book fair, so you could buy books directly from the authors, have them signed. So it's really an exciting experience for all.
We're just learning about writing and poetry and everything.
They are going into different classrooms to learn all the different aspects of writing. So for instance, they're going to be learning about poetry. And a poet that came here today is Jean LeBlanc. A writer that came here today is Alison Fermento, and she was the author of This Tree 123. Lee Harper is an illustrator, and he came here to show the children how to draw different kinds of cartoons, how he came up with his ideas, where he came with his passion. He illustrated for the book Wilbur, as well as Turkey Trouble. And everybody is here to learn all the different aspects of writing and basically expand on the wonderful thoughts that we have.
I write mostly poetry, and I have poetry published in journals across the country and really around the world. And I have a few books of poems of my own. I'm also an executive editor with the Paul and Skill Poetry Project, which is out of Andover, and we publish local poets in chapbook and anthology form. So I do a lot of work locally with poetry. I'm also a member of the Writers' Roundtable here in Sussex County, and we have monthly poetry readings. So I'm very active in the poetry community, and we have a really active poetry community here in Sussex County. I had the young adults to adults in my writing workshop and my presentation, and we talked about imagery and the importance of imagery in writing. I told them that they often hear teachers say show, don't tell, and when teachers say that, what we mean is use imagery, use something that other people can see or hear or touch to really bring your writing alive. So we read some poetry, I had a handout for them, then I had them write their own images, and they wrote them on cards, and I collected the cards, and then I read their series of images, and it almost sounded like one beautiful long poem.
I think it's like a lot of fun, and it's a really great experience.
Are you learning a lot from the authors?
Oh yeah.
What are some of the things that they touched up on that you learned from them?
Well, so far we've learned visualization inside our head, in poetry and everything. The younger kids are drawing and, learning about the importance of writing and literature.
This was such a creative bunch. It wasn't me personally. I think they just loved getting together and talking about writing. And really, again, it's this community feel that we were talking about, how writing is such a solitary act, that it's wonderful to come together like this once in a while and hear other people say, I had this wonderful dream that I turned into a poem, or I heard a piece of music that inspired me to write a poem. So we hear each other's ideas and each other's creative process, and that makes us even more creative. And we talked about books we've read and stories that we've heard that have inspired us to write our own original works. So I think, we just had such a great time talking about writing and what inspires us. This is so wonderful. This is my third time being a presenter at the Young Adult Writers Conference. And every time I say that it just gives me hope for the future to see these young people who are so creative and who love to read what they write. And it's inspiring for me to see that this is something that young people just take and make their own, and just how much it improves their lives.